Ladies, if menopause is fucking up your fat loss, this is the actual reason that it is fucking up your fat loss. So, I had a really interesting conversation with my friend on Saturday. It's actually my tattoo artist wife, and you're sitting there for a while, and he was actually gracious enough to let me get tattooed at his house instead of driving all the way to Venice in the west side and I live in the valley to get tattooed. So, I was sitting there and we were chatting about everything, menopause and supplements and peptides and training and all that stuff, and we're going on and on, and she was just like, as menopausal women, we know we're just being fucking sold to. Like, all of us know we're just like constantly being sold to, and just kind of like, it's a very in pain market. Like, and yeah, it is, right. And it's fucked. And you know the reason I see most menopausal women, from my experience, get really stuck is for that reason. It's kind of like a buyer beware, like nothing's gonna work. I'm losing hope. Why is this gonna work? It's just very like, almost combative conversations. And I'm just like, look, like, here's the evidence, here's the research, here's why you're not seeing results, here's the plan. But what it comes down to is it's very interesting because I was on this call with this woman yesterday, and we were going through the paperwork, and she was going to sign up, and all of a sudden she just she gets off the Zoom, right? She just basically leaves, and I wasn't pissed. I've been doing this for fucking 20 years. I'm very thick skin. I wasn't like, oh my god, why did you hop off? Like, what are you doing? I didn't follow up with her afterwards. Like, this isn't the first time something's like happened where someone gets cold feet and they just like end the Zoom and just hop off because they're scared. And I was thinking afterwards, and I was like, yeah, it's just like that woman I made a comment with about blood work, and she couldn't get over this. It's the mindset around the problem, which is she and every menopausal woman I've talked to that is so like, buyer beware, kind of like nothing's gonna work for me. The craziest fucking thing, and I get it because you have menopause brain and you have massive brain fog, your motivation's super low, you don't feel great because there's no serotonin, like there's physiological reasons they don't feel good. But the biggest thing, and I always see that the menopause women that are like that are the ones that have been just doing this on their own. They're like, nothing works. And I'm like, well, don't you feel like nothing has worked because you've been just doing this on your own and throwing random shit against the wall of like, random shit you've been hearing from random influencers, random quote unquote doctors, and they'll just kind of like be stuck, and they're doing all this stuff. And I'm like, well, don't you feel like you haven't seen results because it's a random, you're taking general information and trying to apply it to you instead of getting like specific, more like tailored information and plan that's actually built out for you? And like, yeah, that's probably why I haven't seen results. That's why we're talking. And then the same people that just will be like, so, oh, I don't know if this is the right thing. Let me think about it, da da da. But I'm sitting here, and if I was in their shoes and knowing what I know, but feeling that way, I fucking just pull the trigger right away because it makes the most logical sense, of doing the hormone testing, of developing a customized and streamlined approach that doesn't have any gaps with the supplements, with the nutrition, with the exercise, with the actual coaching behind it to make sure you're doing it and making it realistic and fit into your lifestyle. It's like, I don't know what kind of unicorn program you're looking for. I can't make this fucking any easier for you. And the fact that I'm guaranteeing results on top of that, because we want to kind of take that, oh my God, is this going to work? Well, it's going to work, or well, it's like, it's guaranteed in there, right? And so it really just kind of becomes a thing of the mindset around it that we kind of like, what the fuck are we actually doing? If you're sitting here thinking nothing's working for me, but you've been going through these general approaches, you've been going the medical route, which we already know that's fucking like, that's the most one size fits all. They're going to shove HRT. Oh, just run. Oh, just, eat salad and drink water. Oh, they're going to tell you like just kind of random shit that you should do to lose weight. And they're just like, or, oh, that's just your age. Oh, that's just kind of how it is. Right. Like, I think we're over this point of like going to these doctors for some weight loss advice through menopause, because it's like the education they get is like basically a half day on that. But what in the fuck are we actually doing to think that, okay, I'm just either going just general information. I've been doing keto for the last 18 years because it worked 18 years ago. And since menopause, it doesn't work anymore. Well, yeah, no fucking shit, because your body's changed. So if you keep trying to do the same shit that used to work and now your body's changed, like, what do you actually expect to happen, right? And so if you're listening to this, if you're menopausal, if you kind of have those like that guard up, I really want to challenge you to not let that kind of like ex partner, ex boyfriend or girlfriend syndrome ruin the future experience. What I mean by that is like, if you've ever dated in the past and you had a really bad experience, well, that didn't stop you from actually dating. You still move forward with other people, right? And like pursued it and whatever. So why would you do that, but not do that in another realm of getting healthy? So what I really want to challenge you on is to still take action. Like, it's not insanity, like trying over and over again, hiring different professionals, right? That's grit. That's like, you keep trying. You know, this doesn't work. You figured out what works. Okay, cool. This person's saying this, that would work. Let's do that. Right. So that's what I really want to challenge you on is the mindset around it. And again, just kind of understanding that where you're at right now, your brain isn't working as streamlined and as perfectly as it is. And if you kind of want to keep dragging your feet through this and postponing this, and you're like, oh, I want to think about it. Oh, and then the next day happens, the next week happens, then you got this travel near the holidays, and it's like more reasons to talk you out of it. It's like, you got to kind of think about where you want to be and everything that's been holding you back up to this point, which is really usually just delaying actually doing something serious about this and getting some really fucking serious help. Because I'm like, you've been feeling like shit for a year. Why haven't you reached out to any other professionals like myself? Obviously, it's because you've been kind of putting this down. Maybe you didn't want anyone to hold you accountable. Maybe you just thought, nothing would work, and then just kind of perpetuating that mindset. So think about where you want to be, and that person, that version of yourself, how they would actually take action. Because they'd be like, this makes sense. I want to be there. Let's fucking do it. Whatever. Let's go. Right? Like, what's worse, not doing anything or doing something and failing? Right? But I can tell you this, you're not going to fail because there's no gaps. Love y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you want any of my menopause shit, my supplement list from Costco or Whole Foods, if you want my menopause alcohol-friendly meal plan, if you want any of that shit, go on Instagram, DM me, reference it, what you want, and I'll send you that over. Bye.